Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab.
It's great to have you with us for this deep dive.
Today's podcast topic, English for airport and flight travel. Now, air travel is just amazing, isn't it? Connects people, places, shrinks the world.
It really does. Fantastic technology.
But let's be honest, if English isn't your first language, that whole airport experience, well, it can feel a bit daunting, maybe even like you're trying to navigate a maze before you've even taken off.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling is completely understandable, and there's a really core reason for it, specifically with language.
What dear?
Well, English isn't just another language you hear at an airport. It's fundamentally the global language of aviation.
Right, the standard.
Exactly. And that's not just for convenience. It's critical for safety, for efficiency across the globe. Think about it, a small misunderstanding between, say, air traffic control and a pilot.
Yeah, that could be serious.
It's very serious. Or even between a flight attendant and a passenger who needs help urgently. The implications can be huge. So having that common language, English, it adds a vital layer of clarity and, well, security for everyone.
That really puts it in perspective why this specific type of English is so important. It's not just about asking for directions.
Not at all.
Beyond the safety, which is obviously paramount, just understanding, the check-in steps, hearing the boarding calls correctly, knowing what security wants you to do, it just makes the whole journey smoother, doesn't it?
Massively smoother.
Yeah.
Less stress, definitely.
And maybe even more enjoyable, hopefully.
Wow.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to really unpack the essentials. We're drawing on material designed specifically for this to pull out the most important practical information you need to navigate airports and flights confidently using English. The goal is to equip you, the listener, with that key vocabulary, the phrases that actually work, and the insights that will hopefully turn your next trip from something potentially stressful into just a smooth part of the adventure.
And what's really helpful about the material we're looking at is how it's structured. It actually follows the timeline of a real trip.
Oh, okay, chronologically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
From the moment you start planning, all the way through arriving, dealing with maybe unexpected things, it's a logical path.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not just theory, it gives you a practical framework. You learn the language for each stage right as you'd actually encounter it. And it's useful whether you're, just starting with travel English, or you want to handle more complex chats, or even understand some of the cultural stuff.
Perfect. So we'll follow those steps like a real journey, highlighting the English you need at each point. Let's kick things off right at the beginning, those pre-travel preparations, before you even think about packing.
Precisely. This first bit is all about understanding why English is so, well, indispensable in this whole context. It's more than just finding Gate 42, like you said.
It's linked to safety and just making things work.
Fundamentally, yes. Safety and efficiency.
You mentioned safety being critical. How does knowing English help with that, say, once you're actually on the plane?
Well, think about the instructions from the cabin crew, the flight attendants. They're there primarily for your safety.
Right.
So understanding them isn't optional, really. When they tell you fasten your seatbelt during turbulence, or point out the emergency exits, or explain what to do in, the unlikely event of an emergency.
You need to get it immediately.
Immediately. Your ability to understand and react quickly is crucial. Clear communication ensures everyone follows safety rules, protecting everyone. It's the same idea with security staff on the ground. Understanding their instructions, take this out, walk through here, means you follow procedures correctly without holding things up.
And that efficiency part, it's not just safety, it speeds things up for everyone, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Knowing the right English for check-in means you can use a kiosk faster or talk to an agent efficiently. Understanding boarding calls means you're at the gate on time, boarding with your group.
Avoiding that last-minute panic dash.
Exactly. Hearing announcements about gate changes or delays saves you missing your flight altogether. It all adds up to saving you time and cutting down that pre-flight stress.
And feeling confident you can handle those interactions. That must make a huge difference to the whole experience.
It's empowering.
Yeah.
It shifts from something you might dread because of potential communication problems to something you feel capable of managing. That's a big psychological win.
Absolutely. And beyond the individual experience, English is kind of the key to unlocking global travel, isn't it?
It really is. With a decent grasp of travel English, you can navigate almost any international airport in the world, whatever the local language is outside the terminal doors.
Because English is the operational language inside.
Pretty much, yeah. For international flights, signs, key announcements, communication between staff, it often defaults to English for consistency. even where it's not the main local language.
So even just understanding a sign that says departures or responding when an officer says passport please, that basic level is essential.
Crucial for finding your way, for following the procedures. Imagine needing help at an information desk, or reporting you lost something, or sorting out an issue with your ticket. English gives you the tools to handle those common situations.
Being able to explain the problem and understand the answer is key.
Paramount.
Okay, so we've established the why. Let's get practical. The very first step for most trips, planning and actually booking the flights. This comes with its own set of vocabulary, whether you book online, phone up, or use an agent.
Right. First things first, the type of journey. Are you just going somewhere and no immediate return plan? That's a one-way ticket.
Simple enough.
Or are you planning to come back? Then you need a round-trip ticket. Basic, but you need to know which one you're asking for.
And flights often aren't just A straight to B, are they? There might be stops.
Correct. You might have a layover. That's a stop where you get off one plane and onto another in a connecting city.
How long is a layover usually?
It varies. Could be under an hour, could be several hours. Now that's different from a stopover, which is usually a much longer break, maybe 24 hours or more, allowing you time to potentially leave the airport and see the city before continuing your journey.
Okay. Layover short, stopover long. Got it.
And then there's the difference between a direct flight and a nonstop flight. This confuses people sometimes.
How so?
Well, a nonstop flight is exactly what it sounds like, A to B, no stops. A direct flight technically might still make a stop somewhere, maybe to pick up passengers, but you don't change planes. Though, honestly, the terms are sometimes used interchangeably, so nonstop is the clearer one if you want no stops at all.
Good distinction. What about seating classes?
Right, you have different service levels. Economy class is the standard, most budget-friendly option. Then there's business class, which offers more comfort, better seats, food, service. And at the top, you have first class, which is the most luxurious option with the highest level of service.
Okay. And once you've booked,
You get a confirmation number, that's your booking reference, and a flight itinerary, which is the detailed schedule. Flight numbers, dates, times, any layovers. Then, before you fly, you need your boarding pass. That's your ticket to actually get on the plane. It can be paper or digital on your phone.
and getting the boarding pass is part of check-in, which we'll cover when we get to the airport phase. What about baggage rules again? You mentioned them earlier.
Ah, yes, crucial when booking. Baggage allowance that tells you how many bags, what size, and what weight you can bring, both for carry-on and checked luggage.
And if you go over.
Then you might face fees for overweight baggage or extra bags. The price of the ticket itself is the fare. And it's really important to know if it's a refundable ticket, meaning you can cancel and get money back, or non-refundable, where you usually lose the fare if you cancel, unless maybe you have travel insurance.
Seeing the words is one thing, but hearing them used helps. Let's imagine a typical online booking scenario.
Sure. So you're on a website. It asks, where would you like to travel? You type in, say, round trip from London to New York.
Okay.
Then, when are you planning to travel? You put in your dates, maybe add preferences. Departing October 5th, returning October 15th, economy class, prefer non-stop if possible.
Right.
The system searches and might come back with, we found a non-stop flight on your dates. It shows the details, the fare. Then it asks, the total fare is £550. Would you like to proceed with the booking?
Okay, so straight away you've got round trip, nonstop, fare, used naturally.
Exactly. And then you might have follow-up questions in the process, like, will I receive a confirmation email? Answer, yes, with your itinerary and booking number. Or checking terms, is this ticket refundable? Response, this fare is non-refundable, but you can add travel insurance. These interactions really solidify the meaning.
And the source material also flags terms you see specifically on booking websites.
Right, online you use search filters, price range, airlines, number of stops. You choose your payment method, credit card, debit card, etc. You'll likely be offered travel insurance. You often get seat selection. And if you travel often, you might use your frequent flyer program details. All digital interface terms.
How does the conversation change if you're using a travel agent? Phone or in person?
The core vocabulary is the same, but it's more, back and forth. You might start with, hi, I need help booking a flight to Tokyo.
Right.
The agent guides you. Sure. Are you looking for one-way or round trip? Or do you have preferred airlines or times? You state your needs. I'd like the cheapest option, or I need to arrive before noon. They'll confirm things like baggage allowance or offered travel insurance. You'll hear phrases like, shall I go ahead and book that for you?
Yeah.
Or I'll send the confirmation and itinerary right over.
So Mentally running through those scenarios, imagining the screen, picturing the conversation, and practicing those phrases really helps build readiness.
Definitely. Try thinking about booking your next trip using these terms.
Okay, flight is booked. Next critical step in pre-travel. Getting your documents sorted. This is non-negotiable. Get this wrong and you're not flying.
Absolutely, the foundation of international travel. The absolute must-have is your passport, your official ID proving who you are and your nationality.
Essential. What else?
Depending on where you're from and where you're going, you might need a visa. That's permission from the destination country, often a stamp in your passport, allowing entry for a specific purpose. Tourism, work, study, and duration.
Okay, passport, maybe a visa.
Or some countries use an electronic travel authorization, often called an ETA or ESTA for the US. It's like an online pre-screening for visa-exempt travelers. You apply online beforehand.
Right, I've heard of those. So passport, visa, TA, what other paperwork?
Well, your boarding pass, you get that at check-in. Good idea to have your itinerary handy. Some countries require a customs declaration form on arrival. Definitely have your travel insurance details, and sometimes a vaccination certificate might be needed.
What about just passing through a country?
Good point. For some connections, even if you're not staying, you might need a transit visa for that specific country you're transiting through.
And if things go wrong with documents when you're already abroad, like losing your passport?
That's when you need your country's embassy or consulate. The embassy is usually the main diplomatic office in the capital city. A consulate is often a smaller office in other major cities, focused more on citizen services like issuing emergency passports. Knowing who does what is useful.
Let's look at that dialogue about checking requirements.
Yeah.
That's a common pre-trip conversation.
Sure. A traveler might ask, "What documents do I need for Canada?" The reply could be, "You'll need a valid passport." Depending on your nationality, you might also need a visa or an ETA.
Okay.
The agent might clarify, citizens of the UK, for example, need an ETA for Canada. They'd explain, it's an electronic authorization you apply for online before you travel. Then comes the crucial advice. Make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months after your planned entry date.
That 6-month rule trips people up.
It does. And they'd add, also good to carry a copy of your itinerary and travel insurance info. These phrases are vital for avoiding issues at the border. Understanding terms like the expiration date on your passport, knowing if you have a biometric passport with a chip, or what an entry stamp looks like, it all helps.
Staying aware of travel advisories from your government is smart too, right?
Very smart. They give updates on safety or entry rules for destinations.
What about that really stressful situation losing your passport abroad? The embassy dialogue gives a script for that.
Yes. You'd approach the counter. "Hello, I need help. I lost my passport." They'll ask practical things. "Okay. Do you have any other ID? A driver's license, maybe? Or do you have a copy of the lost passport?" They explain the next step. "We can issue an emergency passport. You'll be asked to fill out this form, explaining what happened, and you'd ask the key question, how long will it take?" Knowing these phrases helps you get the process started, even when you're stressed.
Definitely helps manage a tough situation, essential for getting through official checks smoothly.
Okay, documents sorted. Let's move to the practicalities of packing. Understanding those baggage rules. This is where you can get hit with unexpected fees if you're not careful.
Yeah, knowing what you can bring and where it goes is key.
Exactly. 2 main types. Carry-on luggage, the smaller bags you take into the cabin, stored overhead or under the seat.
Right.
And checked luggage, the bigger bags you hand over at check-in, which go in the cargo hold. The crucial thing is the baggage allowance. The airline's limit on number, size, and weight for both types, based on your ticket.
And if your checked bag is too heavy?
That's overweight baggage, and you'll likely pay extra fees. You also need to know about prohibited items, things not allowed at all, or maybe only in checked bags, not carry-on, for security.
Like liquids and sharp things we mentioned.
Precisely. Other useful packing terms. Put a luggage tag on your checked bags with your contact info vital if it gets lost. And if you pack fragile items, maybe mark the bag, though airlines often don't guarantee their safety.
Let's hear that dialogue about asking for the rules. Covers the usual questions.
The traveler asks, "Can you tell me the baggage allowance for my flight?" The agent checks. Okay, for economy, you get 1 carry-on, max 7 kilos, and 1 checked bag, max 23 kilos.
Standard enough.
Then the traveler asks the common question. "What if my checked bag is over 23 kilos?" The agent explains. "There's an overweight fee of, say, $50 per extra kilo over the limit."
Ouch. Need to weigh it first.
Definitely. And questions about specific items. Can I bring my laptop and carry on, agent? Yes, but you have to take it out of your bag at security screening.
That's a really practical exchange. The source also lists some common restrictions, clearly.
Yes, like liquids in carry-on. Usually 100 milliliters or smaller containers, all fitting in one clear, resealable bag. Sharp objects like knives or large scissors, generally only allowed in checked bags packed safely. Electronics like laptops and tablets need to come out for separate scanning at security. And medications, allowed in carry-on, even liquids over 100 milliliters needed medically. But having a prescription or doctor's note is a good idea, especially internationally.
Knowing these rules and the words to ask about them saves a lot of hassle and potential cost at the airport. Back to that efficiency and less stress.
Okay, prep done, you've booked, got docs, packed right. Now picture yourself arriving at the airport building itself. These places can feel huge, right? Like mini cities.
Totally. Finding your way around is the first challenge. What are the key areas, the words we need to spot?
Okay, think zones. Airports have terminals, the main buildings. You'll head for the check-in counter or check-in desk first, then through the security checkpoint. After that, you find your specific gate, the waiting area for your flight.
Arrivals and departures.
Right. People arriving head to arrivals. People leaving are in departures. After landing, you collect bags at baggage claim.
What about help desks, shops, food?
Look for the information desk for help. Lots of shops, including duty-free shops past security, maybe an airline lounge if you have access, need cash, find currency exchange. And outside, signs for ground transportation, taxis, buses, trains.
Signs are your best bet for navigating, I guess.
Absolutely. They try to use autocons, but the English words are standard. Look for to gates, check-in, security check, baggage drop if you checked in online, arrivals, departures, restrooms, exit to ground transportation, and lost and found. Recognizing those is key.
Knowing those words is like having a basic map. Means you can follow the signs or ask someone for directions effectively using phrases from that dialogue example.
Exactly. Simple but vital questions like, excuse me, where's the check-in for British Airways? Or understanding, follow the signs for Terminal 3. You might need to ask, how far is Gate 52? Or, is there an ATM nearby? Basic interaction, easily managed with the right words. Other useful terms, maybe a shuttle between terminals using an escalator or elevator. All the signs together are called signage.
Okay, found the right terminal, found the check-in area. Next big step, actually checking in at the airport.
Right. This is where you confirm you're flying, get your boarding pass, drop off checked bags. You can go to the check-in desk with an agent or use a self-service kiosk, those computer terminals.
What vocabulary pops up here?
Things we've met. Luggage tag, carry-on luggage, checked luggage. Your boarding pass shows boarding time, gate number. We mentioned excess baggage fees. This is where you pay them. And they'll do ID verification, check your passport.
Let's walk through that check-in counter dialogue. Seems pretty standard.
Agent starts, good morning. Passport and ticket, please. You hand them over. Agent, are you checking any luggage? You, yes, one suitcase. Agent, okay, please place it on the scale.
The moment of truth for weight.
Exactly. Agent, it's 25 kilos, the limit is 23. Then the consequence, you'll need to pay an excess baggage fee. You sort that out. Then you ask, what's my gate number and boarding time? Agent, gate B14, boarding starts at 9.45.
Covers the key steps in a common issue. How about using a kiosk? That's more reading instructions, right?
Right. The screen guides you. Scan your passport or enter booking number. Place passport on scanner. Any bags to check? If yes, print luggage tag and attach. Then, print boarding pass and proceed to baggage drop.
What's baggage drop?
That's a separate counter. Usually faster, just for dropping off checked bags if you've already checked in online, or used a kiosk and tagged the bag yourself.
Ah, okay. An online check-in itself.
Yeah, more and more common. Use the airline's website or app. Often gets you a mobile boarding pass on your phone. Still need the baggage drop if you have checked bags. Online check-in usually lets you do seat assignment too. One term you hope not to hear is that your flight is overbooked. They sold too many seats. That can cause problems.
So whether it's a person or a screen, that core check-in language is vital. Practicing those interactions mentally helps.
Okay, checked in, bags dropped. Now you need to find your specific gate. You've got the number, but where is it?
Right, moving from the main hall towards the planes.
A key thing here is the gate number on your boarding pass. You verify it and check the flight status on the departure board, those big screens.
What info is on the departure board?
Flight number, destination, gate number, and crucially, the flight status. Is it on time, delayed, already boarding, maybe gate closed, too late, or worst case, canceled?
Okay.
When it's time for your flight, you'll hear a boarding call announcement for your flight or group. Some people might have lounge access near the gate.
Let's look at that dialogue about checking the board. Shows asking for help and understanding delays.
A traveler asks staff, "Excuse me, how do I find the gate for flight KL101? Staff points. "Check the departure board over there. Find your flight number." Traveler finds it. "Okay, gate C5? But the status says delayed." They ask staff, "Is flight KL101 delayed?" Staff confirms. "Yes, looks like a 90-minute delay due to air traffic control. New boarding time is 11:30 a.m. Traveler might ask, "Is gate C5 far?" Staff, "About a 10-minute walk. Follow signs for gate C1, C10.
Understanding those statuses, on time, delayed, boarding, gate closed, canceled, is so important. It's your live update. Keeps you from missing things.
Absolutely vital. Okay, you know the gate. Flight's hopefully on time, or you know the new time. You head towards the gate, but first, navigating security checks. The bit many find stressful.
Yeah, the cues, the rules, but knowing what to expect helps.
It really does. The whole thing is security screening. You put your stuff bags, coats, etc. in plastic trays for the x-ray. You'll be told to remove things like shoes, belts, laptops. Remember those prohibited items? No liquids over 100 milliliters, no sharp objects in carry-on. You walk through a metal detector or maybe a body scanner. Sometimes they do a quick physical check called a pat-down or select people for a random check.
The dialogue at the checkpoint gives those specific instructions you hear.
Security officer says, "Please put everything from your pockets in the tray phone, keys, coins, liquids bag out too." Traveler asks, "Do I need to take off my shoes?" Officer, "Yes, shoes and jacket off please in the tray." Traveler asks about electronics. "Laptop okay in the bag?" Officer, "No, laptop needs to come out, separate tray please." Another common one. "What about this water bottle?" Officer, "Sorry, liquids over 100 milliliters aren't allowed through."
Hearing those exact phrases helps you prepare. Other common ones. Remove all metal. Bag on the belt. Walk through one at a time. Step aside for a check. Arms up for the scanner.
Knowing these, being ready to follow instructions quickly just makes it all smoother. Less stress for you, faster for everyone. It's a perfect example of vocabulary having a direct, practical payoff. Other terms you might hear. Explosives trace detection, that's swab test. Hand luggage, same as carry-on. The security queue, the line, and needing your boarding pass scan to enter the area.
Understanding is key here for a smooth process.
Right. Cleared security, final step before getting airborne, boarding the plane.
This is getting everyone from the gate area onto the aircraft. Listen for the boarding call for your flight. Often there's priority boarding, first maybe for business class, families, frequent flyers. Then they call by boarding group, usually a letter or number on your pass, or sometimes by row number.
Okay.
Once you're on, find space for your bag in the overhead bin or under the seat. You'll be in an aisle seat, window seat, or maybe middle seat.
And you definitely need your boarding pass again here. Yes, absolutely. You show it to the gate agent, often with your ID, right before you walk onto the plane. And good idea to have passport visa handy too, just in case.
Let's break down that boarding gate dialogue. Typical questions come up.
Gate agent announces, "Good evening. We are now boarding Group A for flight EK204 to Dubai." A passenger asks, "Excuse me, I'm Group C. When do I board?" Agent, "We'll call Group C in about 10 minutes. Please wait nearby." Passenger checks their bag. "Can I bring this carry-on?" Agent glances. "Yes, that size is fine." Passenger asks about seating. "Any chance of a window seat?" Agent checks. "Let me see. Yes, 15A is free. I'll change it on your boarding pass."
Understanding those announcements is crucial for knowing when it's your turn.
Definitely. Common ones. Now boarding all passengers for flight AC123. Passengers needing special assistance can board now. Please have boarding pass and ID ready. Boarding closes in 10 minutes. Inviting Group B to board. Listening stops you missing your slot. Other terms. A gate change announcement if you need to move. The final call before they close the doors. Talk of standby passengers hoping for a seat. And you'll meet the cabin crew on board.
Knowing the process makes getting onto the plane much less chaotic. Okay, you're on. Seat found, bag stowed. Let's talk about being on the plane, specifically interacting with flight attendants.
Right, the cabin crew. They're there for your safety and comfort. Key terms relate to your seat area and requests. Understanding about your seat belt, the tray table, the overhead bin, asking about the in-flight meal, knowing what turbulence means, using the call button, asking for a blanket, pillow, or headphones, and knowing where the nearest emergency exit is from the safety briefing.
That requesting assistance dialogue shows how to ask politely.
Yeah. You press the call button, flight attendant arrives. Excuse me, could I please have a blanket? Attendant, of course, here you go. They might ask, anything to drink? Yes, please, just some water, maybe about food. When will the meal be served? Or if you have needs, attendant asks, any dietary requirements? You, yes, I'm vegetarian. Is that okay for the meal?
Politeness, excuse me, please, thank you, goes a long way. What about snacks outside meal times?
The requesting a snack dialogue covers it. You ask, excuse me, are there any snacks available? Attendant, yes, we have sandwiches, crisps, drinks for purchase. You ask, how much is the sandwich? And clarify payment. Can I pay by card? Simple exchanges for comfort during the flight.
These basic interactions are essential for getting what you need on board. Besides talking one-on-one, you need to understand the announcements.
Crucial. Understanding in-flight announcements keeps you informed about progress, conditions, instructions.
What are the really common phrases you'll hear?
Things like, please fasten your seatbelts. We are experiencing some turbulence. We will begin our descent shortly. Please stow your tray tables and return seats to upright position. Thank you for flying with us. Safety related in the unlikely event of an emergency. Or updates. The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. We are cruising at an altitude of 33,000 feet.
Sometimes they're hard to catch, especially with engine noise. The dialogue about responding shows a good tactic.
It does. One passenger asks their neighbor, sorry, did they say we need to put seatbelts on? Neighbor confirms. Yeah, they mentioned turbulence, best to buckle up. It shows it's fine to ask someone nearby if you miss something important.
Knowing terms like cruising altitude, descent, taxiing helps you follow the flight's progress. Listening is key for staying informed and safe.
And on longer flights, you'll likely use the in-flight entertainment.
Right, the screen in the seat back. What English do you need for that?
Usually a touch screen, you need headphones, you navigate the movie selection, maybe audio channels, and can often change language settings.
The dialogue about using it shows how to ask for help.
You might ask a flight attendant, excuse me, how do I use this screen? They'd explain. Just tap it to start. Use the menu to choose. If it's not working, it doesn't seem to be working. Attendant might check, looks like you need to plug in the headphones. Or for language, can I change the language? Attendant, yes, look for the settings menu.
Knowing those basic terms lets you use the system and enjoy the flight more.
Okay, flight's done, landed safely. Now, arriving at your destination, final hurdles, official checks, and getting out.
First up, clearing immigration and customs.
These are the officials controlling who enters and what goods come in. The immigration officer checks your passport, visa, asks questions. Be ready to state your purpose of visit, like tourism, business, visiting family, and your duration of stay 1 week, 3 months. Then you deal with customs service, checking bags for restricted items, maybe collecting duty. You might need to declare items on a customs form. Immigration checks your visa validity and looks out for banned items.
That at immigration dialogue seems very standard. What are the typical questions?
Officer, passport please? Looks at it. And what's the purpose of your visit? You. Tourism. Officer, how long will you be staying? You. For 10 days. Officer, where are you staying? You give hotel name or address? Officer, do you have a return ticket? Having clear, simple answers ready is key.
The source lists those common questions, showing how predictable it can be if you prepare. What about customs?
The add customs dialogue shows that. After baggage claim, the officer asks, anything to declare, meaning restricted goods, large amounts of cash, etc. Just personal belongings. Officer might ask specifically, any food, plants, or animals. If they check your bag, please open your bag for inspection. Then hopefully, okay, everything looks fine, you can go, welcome.
Being ready for those questions, answering honestly and clearly just smooths the process after a long flight. Avoids delays.
Exactly. Cleared immigration and customs. Last steps, collecting luggage and exiting the airport.
Finally getting your bags, hopefully.
Hopefully. Head to baggage claim. Find your flight number on the screen to see which carousel. If your bag doesn't show up, that's lost luggage. Need help with bags? Look for a luggage cart. Then outside, find ground transportation. Options include the taxi stand, shuttle bus stops, car rental desks, public transport like trains, buses, or rideshare pickup points.
But what if it is lost luggage? That dialogue is crucial for that scenario.
Right. Go to the airline's baggage service desk. Excuse me, my suitcase didn't arrive. Staff. Okay, sorry to hear that. Can you describe it? You give details, color, size, brand, tags. Staff. Please fill out this lost luggage form, you ask. How long does it usually take to find? Staff. Usually within 24-48 hours. We'll arrange delivery. They give you a tracking number for the report.
Knowing the right words helps manage that frustrating situation. Then finding your way out.
The arranging transportation dialogue covers that. Ask staff or follow signs. Excuse me, where are the taxis? Staff, outside, near exit 4. Ask about cost. How much is it to the city center? Staff might estimate or suggest options. Around $50. Or there's a shuttle bus. Ask about lines. Is there a queue? General direction. Follow signs for ground transportation.
Useful terms there too. Fare, drop-off point, taxi meter, having a reservation. Knowing these gets you from airport to hotel smoothly. Sense of completion.
But travel isn't always smooth. We need to be ready for handling common challenges.
Like dealing with flight delays and cancellations. Happens sometimes.
It does. A delay means leaving late. Cancellation means not flying at all. You might need to rebook onto another flight. You might get compensation, maybe vouchers for food or a hotel. Sometimes standby for an earlier flight is an option. Keep checking your flight status. Understand the reason, weather-related delay, technical issue.
The dialogues for handling these show how to get help for a delay.
Go to the airline desk. Excuse me, flight BA789 is delayed. What's the reason? State your problem. I have a connection. Will I miss it? Agent. Yes, it's a 3-hour delay. We can rebook your connection. Ask about support. Is there any compensation like meal vouchers? Agent. Yes, for delays over 2 hours. Pick one up here.
Now it's canceled completely.
The handling a cancellation dialogue shows that. My flight QF12 was canceled. What are my options? Agent. We can rebook you tomorrow morning. You state urgency if needed. Tomorrow's too late. I must get there today. Agent might explore. Maybe stand by on another airline. Address needs. Will you cover a hotel for tonight? Agent. Yes, we'll provide a hotel voucher.
Other useful words here: reschedule, missed connection, customer service desk, reimbursement. Being able to talk through these issues in English is key to getting help when things go wrong.
Another important area: communicating special needs. If you need extra help, you need to state it clearly.
For comfort and safety, right?
Exactly. Key terms: wheelchair assistance, mentioning a dietary restriction, vegetarian, gluten-free allergy, informing about a medical condition, requesting priority boarding, traveling with a service animal, needing accessible seating, carrying medical equipment. The requesting wheelchair assistance dialogue is quite direct.
You'd say, at check-in, "Excuse me, I require wheelchair assistance to the gate." Staff, "Certainly. I'll arrange an attendant," they ask. "Which gate?" Mention equipment. "I also have a medical device," staff advises. "Show it at security. Offers more help. Need help with luggage."
And confirming special meals.
The requesting a special meal dialogue shows that. Ask the flight attendant, "Excuse me, I pre-ordered a vegan meal. Can you confirm?" Attendant checks. "Yes, it's noted here," you might ask. "Will it be labeled clearly?"
Don't be shy about using these phrases. Airlines expect these requests, but clear communication is essential for them to help you properly. And finally, back to a common arrival problem: dealing with lost or damaged luggage.
Super frustrating, but knowing the words helps fix it.
Right. Terms: lost luggage, didn't arrive. Damaged luggage, arrived broken. You fill out a baggage claim form. Get a tracking number. Airline might offer delivery service if found later. If lost or badly damaged, discuss compensation.
The reporting damaged luggage dialogue shows this.
Go to baggage services. "Excuse me, my suitcase arrived, damaged, the handle is broken." Staff, "Okay, let me see the damage. Then please fill out this baggage claim form. Ask about fixing it. Can it be repaired?" Staff explains policy. If repairable, we arrange it. If not, we offer compensation or replacement. That's about time. How long does that take?
Knowing damaged luggage, claim form, compensation helps you report it right and follow up.
Okay, moving beyond just the words for tasks and problems, the material also covers cultural nuances and etiquette, really important for smooth interactions.
This is about how we communicate, not just what we say.
Exactly. Basic tips. Politeness is key. Always, please, thank you, excuse me. Be aware of personal space. Don't stand too close. Know about tipping customs, varies wildly but common for U.S. Porters drivers. Respect queuing, wait your turn. Punctuality is vital, be early for flights. Moderate eye contact is generally good in English-speaking cultures.
That simple, polite interaction dialogue shows it well.
Asking for directions. "Excuse me, could you please tell me?" Response: "Of course." Your reply: "Thank you so much." The response: "You're welcome." Simple, but makes a difference. Other tips: use a calm language tone. Avoid confusing gestures. A neat dress code can help. Show respecting staff with patience. And keep your personal items secure.
Small things, but they add up to better interactions overall.
And you might interact with other travelers too. The material covers interacting with fellow passengers.
Making small talk can make the wait nicer. What words help?
Talking about your destination, origin, maybe a layover. Discussing jet lags, sharing travel tips. Mentioning if you're a frequent flyer.
The chatting with a passenger dialogue gives examples.
Simple start. Hi, is this seat free? Or at the gate, are you flying to Sydney too? Asking for advice. Been there before. Any tips? Sharing yours. Oh, you should definitely check out. Giving thanks. Thanks for the advice. Asking about them. Where are you from?
Other starters. Where are you headed today? First time visiting? Travel much? Polite chat can make the journey more pleasant.
And finally, understanding airport staff roles.
Why is that helpful?
Saves you asking the wrong person. Know the main roles. Check-in agent, security officer, gate agent, flight attendant, immigration officer, customs officer, general ground staff. Each has specific duties.
The addressing staff by role dialogue shows this.
Approaching a desk. Excuse me, are you the gate agent for flight UA90? Ma'am? Yes, how can I help? You ask your specific question. I need to check my seat assignment. Or, is the flight on time? Knowing the role gets you to the right help faster. Saves time, reduces hassle. Back to confidence. Okay, beyond the common stuff, there are advanced scenarios and problem solving. Less frequent, but good to be prepared.
Including emergencies, right? Handling emergencies.
Yes, hopefully never needed, but crucial vocabulary. Knowing where the emergency exit is, asking for first aid, understanding evacuation instructions, reporting a medical emergency, finding a fire extinguisher, giving emergency contact details.
So reporting a medical issue dialogue shows reacting in a crisis.
Someone calls out, "Help, my husband feels faint, we need a doctor." Flight attendant responds, "Okay, stay calm, I'll get the first aid kit and contact medical support." Asks for info. Can you describe his symptoms? Being able to quickly ask for help and describe the problem is vital.
What about losing a passport in an emergency context?
The reporting a lost passport dialogue covers that too. You'd state, "I've lost my passport, what do I do?" Staff guides you. Check lost and found first. Then, you need to file an airport police report. And crucially, contact your embassy immediately for emergency documents. Knowing these steps and terms is critical. Another advanced skill. Negotiating and resolving issues. When you need to discuss a problem to get it fixed.
Advocating for yourself.
Right. Using terms like asking for a refund, discussing compensation, knowing how to escalate the issue, explaining a miscommunication, seeking a resolution, asking for a supervisor, understanding the official policy.
The requesting a refund dialogue shows asking for money back.
You state clearly, "I'd like a refund for my canceled flight." Agent asks for details. Booking number. Confirms eligibility. "Yes, I can process a full refund." Ask for proof. "Can I get that in writing?" Agent, "Yes, I'll email confirmation. Might offer alternatives. Want to rebook instead."
And the escalating an issue dialogue. If the first person can't help.
You explain the problem. "I was charged twice for my bag." Provide proof. "Here's my receipt." If they can't fix it, politely ask to go higher. "Can I speak to a supervisor, please?" Supervisor arrives. Restate the issue and request. "I was charged twice. I need a refund for the duplicate charge." Supervisor resolves it. "Okay, I see the error. We'll refund that now." Polite but firm communication works. Lastly, the challenge of communicating in a foreign airport where English might also be limited among staff.
An extra layer.
But manageable. Acknowledge the language barrier. Use a translation app. Look for bilingual staff. Use simple sign language or pointing. Have an emergency phrase book.
The dialogue shows handling this with limited English.
You might say, "Excuse me, no speak English much." State needs simply, maybe point. "We're gate 20. Staff might use simple words. Point, draw. Might ask, translation app.
Even basic phrases and tools can work. Some English is better than none.
Phew. That was quite the journey through the language of air travel.
It really was. From booking right through to handling problems, we've covered, hundreds of terms, seen them in dialogues, touched on culture, problem solving.
And the main point really isn't just memorizing words. It's gaining those practical skills, building that confidence so you feel prepared for travel.
It really does feel like a specific toolkit for the airport and the flight.
It is, and this deep dive gives you that foundation. But the real learning comes from using it. So the next steps are, practice regularly, maybe watch travel vlogs or airline safety videos in English, immerse yourself, and then travel. Use these skills. Don't worry about mistakes. Keep learning.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. How will having the specific English vocabulary, these phrases, this understanding, how will it change your next travel experience? What doors might open? What anxieties might fade when that airport communication barrier feels lower?
Think about that dream trip. How much smoother could it be when you feel confident navigating the airport in English?
We really hope this deep dive has been useful, maybe even empowering, for your English learning and your future travels.
Absolutely. Safe travels when you next fly.
And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.